south, you see that the oil spillage has not been dealt with really. All right, so the youths there cannot farm, their mothers cannot eat, their fathers cannot fish, and so what's left of them than to look for other forms of business? So they get into militancy. Militancy that ought to have been an agitation has turned into some sort of criminal activity, right? Now, all this we can actually deal with if the government sits down and begin to find strategies, meaningful strategies, okay, and purposefully tackle them. All right, I mean there has to be the political will to tackle them and not for personal gains, like saying we want to build dams and somebody cuts away with the money. No, I mean there has to be a political will to see to finish so we can be able to tackle the issue of hunger in the land. All right, now the other, apart from hunger, I mentioned that another issue we've got is the fact that there's really a crack in our nationhood. Okay, there's such crack there. Okay, politicians have actually created this crack more than other causes. I mean, you see someone trying to win an election, whipping up tribal sentiments, and then you know you, choices of words help to deepen the divide between two tribes who, by the way, are not really far apart. I mean, we intermarry, we interworship, we intertrade, we live together, we work together. I mean, we play together. It's only when it comes to politics that we are divided. All right. So, and this gradually has, weakened the sense of patriotism in this country. The injustice also has weakened the sense of patriotism in this country. The fact that you want to make me believe that my rights are not protected. The fact that you want a Nigerian to believe that his say at the ballot box is not protected. The fact that he has the feeling that justice is available for sale makes him feel that he is not protected in the Nigerian project. So he is to fend for himself. Everybody has tend to become a government by himself. I mean, you are your own power supplier, you are your own water supplier, you provide your own security, you have to fend for your own food, you have to develop yourself, find your own job, do everything for yourself. So if you have to do that, you may as well stand as an individual country of your own. So that bond that unites us is gradually cracked, and because of it, I mean, people do not really, they are not there again to play the community policing, all right, to help each other. All right. So in the past, I mean, you're able to cite some strange face in your neighborhood and alert your neighbor. You're able to someone you hear that your neighbor is under attack. You're able to step out. You want to be there for your neighbor. But today, everybody's for himself. All right. And again, you think that whatever is affecting someone in the north is for the northerners, and then as long as I'm cool in the south, it doesn't matter. Okay. Forgetting that very soon, I mean, tables turns and it gets to your tongue, and you think what's happening in the southeast doesn't bother me in the northwest. So there's that separation, and that has not helped our security situation. Then our youth are really not engaged, truly. All right, these guys are very brilliant. These guys are resourceful, but they don't have the opportunity. So their energy, their mind capacity is only a raw resource, natural resource. It has to be applied. All right, it has to be applied. Our local league is really nowhere. So you cannot say you want to take a youth and put him in the football career, and he's going to grow easily and find himself really doing great for himself and for the nation. You cannot say you're going to take one young girl somewhere, put her in the basketball league, and help her grow in that particular career. No. All right. So we're not essentially, all right, developing or harnessing the capacity of our youth. All right. So there's no opportunity for them. All right. Some of them have self-developed. Self-development is not sufficient. There has to also be the opportunity. So if someone, I know a couple of youths who have say, oh, I want to go back into farming, I want to try farming. They try farming, they grow some crop, but where are they going to sell it? Where is storage for them? All right, so after some certain labors and futility, they are back to not being engaged. So we have to actually look at the entire value chain, all right, of a resource development, so that our youth can actually be engaged from the production to the processing to the going to market, create opportunity along every path. In the big tent, we have been promoting this uh, ideology of regional endowment, developing Nigeria across regional endowment. There are certain regions in Nigeria that are really good for cropping. All right, we want to encourage government, work with Nigerian citizens to develop the resource in those regions, so the crops can actually become their own economic empowerment. All right, those that are really blessed with natural resources, we should actually encourage them to go not just in the local mining, from mining through to industrial mining, industrial processing, onto the market. I mean, every part of Nigeria is largely blessed, richly blessed. I'm from a part of the country that has no natural resource but has very strong mind capacity. All right, you see a lot of my people in banking. That's because our mind capacity is great. Okay, such places should have thriving academic institutions, should have thriving career development centers, should have thriving entrepreneurial development centers, so we can actually be able to mine the minds of these youths and put them on a global scale. It's a good thing to note that today technology has leveled the playing ground in the country, in the world generally. The technology has leveled the playing ground, so Nigerians have no excuse no more. We have the mind, we have the rich mind, we have the resources, we have the people. We can actually rise to the apex of any sector in the world. Okay, taking advantage of technology, and if we can do this, really, I believe that we can tackle the root causes of insecurity. Again, apart from the root causes of security, there are also the other parts that I believe are the enablers. Okay, which is the security, which is the government and the security formation. Okay, so I believe that because if the judiciary fails in its role of upholding justice, it enables insecurity to thrive. If we're not seeing bandits being tried, if we're not seeing insurgents being tried, if we're not seeing kidnappers being tried, if we're not seeing convictions, then we're actually in a way enabling this insecurity to thrive, because it becomes a safe trade. We cannot allow it to be a safe trade. All right, then our security personnel themselves, okay, we've heard that there's been some form of recruitment here and there. All right, but we are not aware that they are deployed. All right, so there has to be the actual deployment of security personnel to the places that matter, where they can save lives. Okay, then we want to check the citizen to policing ratio. How many policemen are there to one? How many policemen are there to 100 citizens? All right, for their protection, for their safety, we need to have sufficient security personnel. Beyond just having the personnel, they need to be equipped, they need to be trained. The other day, I was at police college. I nearly wept. Really, I nearly wept. I mean, you cannot school someone there and expect him to be effective. He cannot be. All right, the grooming ground matters. The grooming ground matters. So the policemen we need sufficient security personnel. We need them to also be given the right training and given the right equipment to work with. They need tools to work with. All right, we need to hear or see deployment of equipment, of security infrastructure to aid them in their work. There are now borderline technologies for securing the borders. Okay, we need to deploy these technologies to secure our border. The fact that there's hunger in our land, there's hunger in Nigeria. All right, and the youths are not gainfully engaged. All right, and the fact that also there has been a crack in our nationhood. All right, there is really no patriotic buying in the Nigerian cause as it used to be in the past. Okay, these three things I believe are the root causes of insecurity in Nigeria. Speaking to hunger itself also is caused or is a symptom of the fact that desertification is becoming increasing in our country. Okay, meaning that the herders are forced to seek for pasture for their cattle, for their goats, for their sheep. And in doing that, one of the ones that they easily happen upon is the at the farmlands, and then this begin to cause the FEMA crisis that we have always heard about, all right, and all that. Okay, this by itself is another challenge, and now the farmers being displaced are now hungry, all right. They themselves are hungry. The people they are meant to feed are hungry, so they become available for hire for other sort of vices, and banditry becomes a thing in Nigeria. Kidnapping for ransom, all right, itself, kidnapping itself, it's not really the end game. The end game is the money, the ransom that they are going to get from kidnapping such persons, so they can have some form of livelihood, all right. And besides the desertification is the flooding, all right. Flooding in the middle belt, flooding in the south, flooding in the southeast, and this flooding, they are actually things that are preventable. They are, I mean, in our manifesto, during the Obi Datti campaign, we said we're going to build dams around this country, dams that will prevent the flooding, aid farming, okay, and help us to improve, okay, our agricultural gain. The big tent happens to be in the center of this. My principal, Professor Pato Tommy, is the champion of it. It's You need to understand that we should go beyond the advocating of who becomes our leader. We should also go to the level of how we are led, how governance is done, and holding those who are leading us accountable. All right. Thus far, using the SPV political arrangements has not helped this country. All right. There was the special purpose vehicle called APC in 2014 that brought about the immediate past president and incumbent president, and then there was also an attempt at using Labour Party as an SPV to salvage the situation of things. Okay, you see that at at those stages where you had special purpose vehicle political parties, it's always been hijacked by the strong men. All right, it's kind of something close to fascism. Kind of thing, all right, where the strongest person is actually going to be the one to be in power, all right. So what we're looking at is not to be a special purpose vehicle. We're not here to try to build another political party, try to create another brand. No, okay. We want to create a system that can transform this country. Remember, we're still pursuing, in Big Tent, we are still pursuing the cause of building a new Nigeria, a prosperous country which we believe is possible. And it's possible by bringing people who has the ideology of a better Nigeria, okay, and not just them having that ideology or subscribing to the programs of transforming our economy, but also agreeing to be held accountable, all right, and us putting systems in place that, okay, if you are going to join our movement, if you're going to join this political party, you actually will be willing to be held accountable, to run the programs, and to ensure that the lot of the Nigerian citizen is improved. The Nigerian citizen, each Nigerian, actually needs to have a better life, and this is what we are chasing, and that's what we are building. So we're not trying to build a mega party for the sake of seizing power. No, it's not about seizing power. It's not about trying to get to office. It's about actually delivering the promise of a new Nigeria and holding accountable those that are elected into office. So we are still building on the process. We're still consulting and we're working on it. I believe there's been a couple of press releases by Professor Pat Toby and he has been speaking to this. And we at Big Tent, we are supporting and working towards it, just the way we worked towards the realization of the obedient movement. We're also on this particular course, and we believe that it's going to deliver a very profitable political result to Nigerians in the nearest future.